We are live with more and more SUPERDRAFT auction. Coming up next we have Tomaquinas and Zark. They will be facing off today. Game 1 is already on the way, so let me not waste too much more time, as they are already in Game 1, which started 8 minutes ago. I think we will skip over a bit of Dark Age here before we talk more about the game. We have Zark, who has the Bengalis, the Inca, Mapuche, Burgundians, and the Chinese, versus Tomaquinas, who has the Armenians, the Tupi, the Khitans, the Huns, and the Magyars. And with that being said, game is loaded in, we're speeding up, and let's hop right into game number 1 on Crater. As we speed through a bit of Dark Age. Already see Tom scouting quite a bit. Tom, no, oh wait, that is a mule cart right there. I didn't see that. Great mule cart location there. Especially with all the hunt being there. Scouts fighting. Tom will have to deal with some early aggression from Zark. Needs to wall in his wood line, as these champies are trying to be annoying from Zark, and Tom is doing his man-at-arms of his own, is deciding to just go forward, kills one villager. KD quite even. Right here, tower going up from Tom, and Zark needs to repair here, as we have caught up with a lifetime. And Tom's man-at-arms, one skirmisher up against the champion runner from Zark. One man-at-arm go down, and the second one tried to run away. So far, Tom towered his wood line, fairly safe here. Still has some ibexes left as well. And Champy runner versus the man-at-arm, and man-at-arms lives. But one skirm here, still being annoying. And I think this guy right here could potentially deal with that eventually. Behind all of this, Zark did get double bit X, no horse collar, also no horse collar for Tom, who has a slightly better farming eco. And for Zark, his skirmishers are traveling across the map. And for Tom, one man-at-arm still in the barracks and one skirmisher in the range. The other one's chilling at home. Zark just attacks the house for now. And Tom will get fletching first. In these 4 skirms. And one archer looking to do some damage. But with the skirms from Tomaquinas there, I think there will not be a lot of damage to be found. Villagers stuck on the wood line. That is because of the mule cart positioning here, I think. Quite annoying. But it happens. Now 3 more men-at-arms from Tom. Also getting skill mill, and Tom can see this. Tom can definitely see that there is army walking here. As both players, similar horse collar timing. And the real question is, what will Tom do? Will Tom just ignore this and defend with the units at home? I think so, especially since Archer went down. Could potentially just do... Never mind, that was the low HP. Man-at-arms does need to attack the archers here. I like that he's taking out the archery range. Just passing, exactly. quite some idle eco from both players. Rest collected slightly ahead in favor of Tom. And 1 man-at-arm go down, I think. The range will stay up, especially if Tom doesn't attack these archers. Meanwhile, one skirmisher falls to the tower. There's a slight palisade here, which will make this dude right here very, very inefficient, unfortunately. And so far, eco, very similar. Idle time, quite a bit higher from Zark. And Tom really wants to take down that archery range. But will need to reposition his skirmishers so they can deal with the archer. And Tom is forced off of gold, will need to deal with that at home. And chooses to send his skirms back home, trying to defend. Is microwing quite well here. More men-at-arms. Could potentially see long swords even from Tom. But I doubt we will see that anytime soon. I think in that case you might want to go for the second barracks. As we see Tom just move his gold towards the front. And Zark, very nice wood line on the side as well. Needs to fix some idols here. And right as I say that, just send everything to wood. Or send more to gold. I think that might be a good shout. Get the market. Try to get your way up to Castle Age as the forward aggression from Zark dies. So far, Zark sells some wood, clicks up the castle first. Tom could potentially do the same, as he is going for the market. And with the Armenians, could also switch into knights, which is something that Zark, of course, cannot do as the Incas. But I do think with the faster castle timing, Zark could potentially get the forward position here. In terms of base placement, Tom's base is a bit more forward, trying to include the stone and the gold here in his walls. Zark chose to make it a bit more compact, trying to get it more close to his TC. Zark currently just messing up all the army at home. And we do see second range, archer armor coming in from Tom. As he sends more villagers to wood. Might want to look into a second mule cart here as well to get the efficiency a bit higher. And with these settlements from the Incas, they do provide population space as well, which we can see here. Zark is already at 95 as a limit. So really, really nice. And for Tom, we'll need to create some houses in the near future if he continues to make army. And Tom wisely walling up, but needs to also fix the hole here. And he does. For Zark, Botkin, crossbow comes in. We'll lose the one man-at-arm to the champies, which will give Tom a heads up. Can garrison easily. And Zark, where is your army? I like the second TC here from Zark. Placing it right on the wood line. And a forward monastery, so Zark is definitely thinking about the relics. And Pride, welcome in, trying to get better at these maps. I think we all want to get better at these maps. And Tom as well. Just getting up that second TC on the wood line. Needs to deal with some champions as he's also going for crossbow, Botkin, and also getting the armor. And Zark can get some real villager kills here Gets 1, gets 2. Will he get 3? Gets 3. Can kill the skirms. There's still feudal skirms. So not a real threat here, and archer numbers from Zark are looking amazing. Also love to see university. We do have a... Oh, wait, that is a settlement. Never mind. Still need to kind of get used to all these new buildings. And I also like that Zark is mixing in some of these champy runners just to be a bit more mobile. But so far, nice pressure from Zark. And yes, I am assuming that people kind of know what they're doing. Sort of. Maybe. 1 mango on the way from Tom. I like that the Seeds Workshop is in the back so he can surprise Zark. More villagers go down for Tom. Eco KD 13 to 2 in favor of Zark. So Zark doing some real nice damage. Mango is out. Zark sees it and decides to run away. Smart move. Will we see a split? That was a very brave villager. And this is why I like the champies here. Like, champies could easily just try to run in, try to get the mango. Instead, chooses to go for the crossbow. Not the greatest fights. And Tom really struggling right now. Like, he is floating a lot of wood, floating some gold. But the army is just not really there. But with the mango, the repairs are there. Could get some nice shots. That is 1 nice shot. As we see Chainmail and Champy coming in as well for Zark. As we now have the Champy Warrior instead of the Champy Scout. And 3rd TC from Tom. And I am not sure if I like this decision here with how his eco is currently set up. I think he needs more army and less eco. And Zark still quite undisturbed at home. I don't see the university just yet, but Zark is doing a nice job trying to get the relics. I like this from Tom, starting with the fortified church in the middle, especially since the fortified church also generates 1 relic, or at least the first one does. And big mango shot, semi-big mango shot. Church goes up, and with the church here, we'll shoot arrows if it's garrisoned. And there is currently a relic garrisoned. So, no relic victory for Zark just yet, but did manage to snag 2 relics. And I think Tom will get the 3 that are currently in the middle. Do we see something from Zark that indicates what he wants to do next, or is he just focused on the fight here at the front? And I think 1 or 2 big mango shots here from Tom. And Zark might be a bit more in trouble, as he is trying to raid with the champies. Tom does have this TC here. There is an overchop. So if Tom does not notice this, if he is, for example, busy microing at the front with the crossbows, could be dangerous. But Tom at least can see it now and reacts. And champions are forced to run away. No ballistics from either player. Would love to see another mango from Tom as well. Tom now goes for the monastery, but could be denied by the champions here. Champions still running away here. And villager goes down. More villagers go down. And the Eco KD is looking amazing for Zark currently. 18 to 2. And rising. That is 20. And the university denied at 88%. Meanwhile, Zark is losing his champions in the back to the crossbows. Not the greatest of fights, but definitely a very forward castle. I would not have minded if the castle was here, so it could shoot down the fortified church with all the relics inside, but with arson on the way now for Zark, I think with all the champions on the field, could easily just start taking down the church. And so far Zark, a really solid 2 TC play here. Arson comes in, and these champions definitely could use some buildings to attack. And forward settlement for Zark, which will give him even more pop space. Also will allow him to take some of the gold from Tom. Tom gets masonry in favor of ballistics. No siege workshop from Zark, but with all this pressure, Zark clicks up to imp. Yeah, he controls both of the forward golds for Tom, so Tom is forced to just take this gold. Does of course have the 3 relics, or 4 even. There's 3 in this one and 1 in the other monastery, so as we can see here at the bottom, quite nice. Tom now getting ballistics. And no ballistics just yet for Zark. And do we see more archers, or will we also see some of the Armenian crossbows from the castle? So far it's just crossbows, also making some rams. And with all the crossbows on the field, I don't mind it, but I think the ram timing might be a bit late. Zark with the forward university also going to get leather archer armor. So these crossbows will be a bit more bulky against all the archer fire. And so far, Zark allowed to just freely take all of his res here. I love this settlement placement here. With all the gold, all the stone surrounding it. Tom has 5 rams. Waiting for his 6th one, and I wonder when he will start making his push. Remember, there are some champions on the field. Some of them are, all of them are in the castle, so if Tom goes for it, could be in some real danger of just being taken out by the champions. Zark reaches imp, and I think this is Tom's moment. He needs to make something happen. Will Zark remember that there are champions inside the castle? As we see some will kills here from Tom, which is nice. We'll need to take out the skirms. Champions hop out on the wrong side. And Tom, I think, overextends a bit with the crossbows. Castle goes down though, so no traps, and Tom can just fall back to his own castle. But army numbers not really there, only 12 crossbow is switching into more barracks. So might be thinking about a man-at-arms into longswords, into potential two-handed swordsman switch of his own here. But we'll need to deal with all this forward pressure from Zark, who is also getting armor. Yeah, I think Zark could have definitely saved that castle if the champions switched on the rams earlier, or if they'd hopped on out of the castle on the other side. Champions running in. I'm forced to micro-back, retreat a bit, but all the longsword, gambesons, chainmail armor coming in. Will this be enough for Tom? Zark did make a second castle, but that is just defensively at home. Also has quite the crossbow mass still chilling at home, not really attacking here, is currently just focused on killing more and more vills from Tom, who's now getting two-handed swordsman and is starting to produce as well. And the Champies currently just running under TC fire, castle fire, and even with that final armor, not the greatest of unit to run under TCs. At least not in small numbers, but will kill more and more vills. Currently, Eco KD 49 to 5. Zark now getting chemistry. And Tom reaches Imp. Can he make something happen from this position? Is behind by almost 60 villagers. Is behind by 25 army. And will get the Federer's upgrade, which means more HP on your champions. Or in Tom's case, two-handed swordsman. As Arbalest comes in, see more villagers being produced, more two-handed swordsmen being produced. And Zark starts to push tree traps and a more forward castle. I would like to see this castle just be more forward. But two-handed swordsman, crossbows around. Is it enough from Zark? Maybe if he has his ARPs in front. As Zark now gets fabric shields. And GG, well played from Tom. So game number 1 for Zark, who wins with the Incas. Yeah, Zark doing a really good job, just doing some early aggression, not too much. Isn't going with the crazy all-in Champy Rush Forever Dark Age strat that we see on the ladder. And I honestly quite like that we don't see that, because that is so annoying to deal with. Zark plays a bit more meta. Just doing the Drush build, which will give him 3 or 4 Champies. Which are of course faster than the militia you can make in Dark Age. Can still be very powerful. But not as powerful as we see some pros do it on the ladder. And no lobby just yet, or I'm just blind, that is also a possibility. But very solid game from Zark. Also very solid game from Tom. Did quite well early on, but just, I think, took too much damage from Zark early on. With the Eco KD. And then from there, Zark just also being in the 2 TC spot. Is booming a bit, but not too much. Getting the earlier imp timing. And then just taking it from there. Starting the push. And we can see here, Zark starts to push right after imp. And then Tom does not really have anything to match Zark's aggression. Tom is a bit faster than Zark in terms of the clicky clicks. But Zark just has the more effective clicky clicks, apparently. And let's see if we can find the lobby. We have a pros only lobby, so we know that Zark is hosting. And the next map will be Glacis. As the game just started. So we will need to wait a tiny bit for spec delay. So Glacis, Tom's home map. As we just saw, Armenians and Incas. Armenians being Tom's first civ, and Incas being Zark's second civ. And for Zark, we will have the Burgundians. And for Tom Aquinas, we will have the Tupi. So I wonder if Tom will do some crazy Dark Age strats right here on Glacis, or if we will see some other more standard stuff. So I'm still waiting for the spec delay to finish. Spec delay is done, so Capture H should start picking up that the game is actually on the way. Yeah, the two-handed hotkeys for Zark is the lower APM reason, Hester. Right. Here we are. Burgundians for Zark. Let's speed up just a little bit to get to lifetime. And 2P for Tom. And this is a great settlement location where he can take the wood, can in the future also take the gold. And the 2P start with some extra res and can garrison in the settlement. Also return some of the cost from fallen units. So very, very nice. But for Zark, I think Zark might not want to do early aggression with the Burgundians. I think with the Burgundians you kind of want to get your eco upgrades. Might also want to just get out a dock here so you can get some fish going. As we see a settlement from Tom and not a dock. I'm not sure if I like that decision. I would prefer a dock first so you can make some more fishing ships. As Zark comes forward, we'll see the settlement, or at least the foundation. We'll see 2 villagers. And Zark decides to attack. And no loom. And that is 1 low HP vill. And if Zark micros well here, could potentially snipe that off, but with 3 villagers being around here now, might not be very snipeable. And Tom also forward with his Champy Scout. And Tom does see the dock. And Zark smartly walling off a little bit. Might suspect some sort of Champy rush coming forward, but I think seeing the forward settlement, you kind of know that there is no super early. And Tom lost a vill to idle TC. Yes. Zark so far 5 seconds, Tom 23 seconds idle TC. And loom is in for Zark. Or at least on the way. No, it is in. So Zark decides if I ever move out here, I want to have loom. To keep my villagers a bit more safe. And Tom just decides, nah, I don't need loom. I'll make the barracks and I'll be the one who puts on the aggression. And I think we will soon see 1 or 2 vills going to gold. And the champies will start coming out soon, I think. But with the dock here, Zark's eco will start pulling ahead. As Tom clicks up the feudal. Zark not really there yet. And some more walls from Zark. More houses. And champions are on the way. Or at least being produced. Tomaquinas also looking around, trying to see if Zark came forward with a dock. Remember in the games earlier, this was definitely a thing where players would just dock to the sides, trying to get some disruptive forward aggression on the water. But I think Zark, who now clicks up the feudal as well, kinda playing it greedy, also not getting the double bit X upgrade, or at least not early. I'm not sure what these walls are, but they might prevent something from looping around. But we'll also need to make walls like this if he goes for something like that. And Currently just 2 champions from Tom. He's making a third one right now. Cancels it. Goes for the archery range. Has 2 villagers on gold. Did pull back the weak one, or is the weak one still... No, still a weak one there. And Tom actually getting double bid before the Burgundians. That is wild. And barracks now for Zark. Second lumber camp as well. I think that second lumber camp might be a bit greedy with how little wood he has. Might not be able to go for a stable or an archery range, but we will see Flemish militia. And I am not sure how well the Flemish militia will do against the champions. As Tom still not moving forward with his units. And Zark just roaming around. Has not seen any production buildings. Also scouted the sides of his base. And Tom, demolition raft. Now with the new water meta, water balance, water patch, I am not sure if one demo is enough to kill Vils, but I guess we're about to find out. Is it enough? It is! Villagers still die. And that was one big bada boom. That was one very big bada boom. As the Flemish militia came forward. Eco KD, Zark 0, Tom 5. So, great start for Tom. As we see a demo raft as well, but Tom noticed. And that was not a great demo. That was definitely not a great demo. Tom going forward, taking some foxes. And fire v fire. And Zark will take the edge here, given that he will be the one to attack first. Also has a Vil here to repair. Tom could technically repair as well. But both players might want to deal with the land aggression first. Or at least Tom might want to deal with the land aggression first. As there is a fire here as well from Tom, trying to defend. Nothing yet out of the forward dock. But fires versus the Flemish militia, it's not really the matchup that the Flemish militia wanted to see. And great positioning here for Tom. Fire Galley will take lots and lots of damage for Zark, and as you can see, currently only taken 1 damage from Tom. And with the archers being there, not really a thing. Zark, double fire. And Tom, I think, will give up the forward dock as we see a market. And Tom's res looking really great to starting to think about Castle H. Does have the archery range, so could potentially sell some stone and or wood and click up. And market as well for Zark, but like I said, Zark's eco is not really there. Does have Bowsaw, but is missing Horse Collar. And as the Burgundians, eco upgrades are a bit cheaper and can be researched 1 age earlier. So Zark's wood will be flying in compared to Tom's, but might need to spend that on the farms instead. We did miss a demo here, I think. Tom is repairing. 1 fire. And 1 more demo from Zark. Tom patrolling, Tom is patrolling, so the demo will go boom, but as we can see, not the greatest, and Zark's villager, very brave, albeit not very smart, decides to fight the fire. But in this case, fighting fires with fires, I think, is the better option. Tom sold some food, clicks up the Castle Age. And there is a repair ville here. So Tom's fire will likely die. Might kill the ville though. Villager down. So that is more villagers killed for Tom, in favor of Tom, I should say. Tom, horse collar, gold mining, and more archers. And I think Tom will just mess up his archers at home, waiting for Castle Age to hit. He's going for the blacksmith. And I don't mind that he wants to wait until at least fletching is in. Especially since skirms are out on the field for Zark, who is also now going for his blacksmith. And woodline runs out, and I think we will see some long distance to here. Will Zark notice that, or will he just fix that? Forward villager for Tom finally dies, so I think the dream of the forward dock has to be given up, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe there is a point where you have some leftover military and you just want to delete that, but I think using that military instead of deleting it might be the better choice. Might just send it into Zark's base, trying to like see where his eco is at, see where he is located. A very forward TC here for Tom. It's on the gold, it's on the wood line. And Zark still has this forward dock, very low HP fire. As we finally see some villagers for Zark going down. Crossbows taking out the feudal skirms. Taking out the villagers. And we'll need to be wary of the fires. Tom will see the stables. And first armor is already in. No bloodlines. And Tom sees the stables, decides I will defend with pikemen as well. But I think we'll need to do some damage before Zark reaches Castle Age. So I would not mind him just running in, like there is so much open eco on the side. But instead, Tom just decides to wait it out. And I don't like that. I don't like that for Tom. In the meantime, Tom has caught up in vills. Rest collected, still very far behind. I think that is due to the early bowsaw and maybe some of the early fishing ships from Zark. And Tom currently trying to get his eco set up, also going for a monastery. And I think that is more to counter the knights rather than to collect the relics. Meanwhile, Storm Eco at home. It's not really set up for a 2TC, honestly. Needs either some more farms or some more villagers and or fishing ships. Tom also making more fire. Zark went for the dock upgrade, but so far not really using it. I like it as a defensive option as well, especially against archers and infantry. But with monks coming out for Tom, who is also going for sanctity, could just convert the units. And Zark went for cavalier, is still missing the second armor. But I think could do some serious damage in Tom's eco if he runs to the sides, just like Tom could do with Zark. Although with the cavalier out, will need more than 6 crossbows to deal with that. And with the first monks now coming out for Tom, I wouldn't mind him just picking up one relic that is right there. And Tom, third TC coming down. Crossbows move forward. Yeah, with how much food there is, like all the food to the sides, I'm kind of surprised that the food eco for both players is this lacking, honestly. This medium warships also comes in for Tom. Goes for a second dock. And could take out the fire with the archers. But so far just ignores it. There is now a war galley as well, so Zark really wants to put on the pressure from the sides. Currently still has the Cavalier waiting at home. And as we see the fire now being taken out. Oh, not being taken out. Storm micros a bit, trying to take out the war galley, but there's a second war galley already on the field behind it. Tom, quite a bit of idle time, but I think that is just to the fact that he has 3 TCs as Zark douches Tom. But the Cavalier are here. Zark deletes the TC. Monks going in for the converts. 1 conversion, 2 conversions. Will it be enough? So far, looks like it is actually enough. Zark is forced to run away. Tom also runs away. Tom's gold is starting to look great. Will need to heal up these units. And will need to take out this dock on the side from Zark. And I think this might be a bit of an overinvestment. I think especially if you're going for more, I think you just need to start taking out that dock and not just wait around as Tom is now housed. We need to produce some more houses. We'll also need to make some more farms. Behind this, Zark, second TC added at home. Very nice farming eco setup. And Tom. Dude. 4th TC. Tom really wants to outboom the Burgundians here. But will need to get that food eco sorted. Zark moves forward once again. Tom notices. And the galleys will die to the fires quite easily. And now Tom just needs to take out the dock. I don't think Zark will produce anything else out of it. Yes, Tom's starting to fix his food eco. A lot on food, but a lot of that is just the free food that we have on the map as Zark opts to go for the more standard farming approach. He's going for a dock on the sides. Taking out one of Tom's houses. Tom will need some more houses soon anyways. Especially being on 4 TCs, you better have that one build making houses all the time. Otherwise you will be just housed every 30 seconds or so. And more monks for Tom. What does the 2P monk tech tree look like? Does get redemption, no atonement. No fervor, so no fast moving monks, and also no block printing. Can get illumination eventually. And already has sanctity, so his units are a bit faster. And here we will see some more houses from Tom, as he is currently housed as the house here was taken out. And with being on 4 TCs, Tom's res is starting to look quite nice. Yes, I always mix them up. Fervor is moving faster, and Sanctity being a bit more HP. The 2 converted units, Cavalier units from Zark moving, or from Tom moving forward. And that is a lot of Cavalier. Tom will see that, and Tom, I think, will need to start mixing in some of those pikemen. The light cav try to snipe some monks, but will die. And great castle from Zark. But Tom could counter castle. There is no space here because the gold is blocking. But with the castle being up, Tom can click in. And Zark could potentially be not too far behind. And with his castle being up on 2 TCs, Tom will need to start moving his eco elsewhere. Castle is up, and with castle being up, Tom clicks in.
Oh yeah.
9 monks on the field, all ready to go, ready to convert. And Zark, selling some stone, selling some food, clicks up to imp as well. And both players still have quite a bit of villagers on stone. And I would not mind if Tom just drops a second castle somewhere in his eco. I think this settlement here will also be used for stone. Scouting for Tom off to the sides, not looking the greatest, especially not in the north here, and has never been inside of Zark's base. But same can be said for Zark, who is once again going for the sneaky dog. And could hit 1 or 2 nice demos here. Could hit some great demos over here. And Tom, when do you have enough TCs? The answer for Tom, obviously never. But, like Kev, find the villagers. And TC is denied. Forced to delete the TC. Tom goes for an extra archery range. As we see demolition ship coming in for Zark. So we will have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, I would love to see a second castle from Tom. I would love to see a second castle from Tom. Maybe here. Could also be here instead of the archery range. Although that might be 2 castles very close by. And Tom hits imp. And first thing we see is traps. Love it. Love to see it. Second castle, more off to the side. Not the worst. And Tom really picked up his food eco. Is now ahead in res collected. Just over 1k. And goes for bracer, goes for chemistry. First trap out for Tom. First traps in queue for Zark. His TC will fall. And here we will need to see those conversions. We will need to see those conversions. Or the trap will get sniped. And remember, no block printing, so these monks need to fall back. Don't want to get into the castle's range and lose all your monks. As we see Theocracy coming in as well. What else have we? And Tom? Wait, no, this is Theocracy. This is not Heresy. So if a group of monks converts, so Tom can just shift queue afterwards when this tech is in. Does not need to individually select each monk. But with the second castle here for Tom, has enough stone for a third one potentially, but I think might want to take out this castle first. Keep in mind, if this castle is taken out, the Cavalier will hop out as well. So Tom will need to keep an eye on that as he is going for ARP. And more Cavalier for Zark. And here we see the Cavalier hop out. Castle's getting dangerously low to being taken out. And I would love to see these Cavalier just run around and get into the eco like they're doing here, Off to the side. Tom has reacted. He's losing villagers. And the orbs need to stay here near the castle. Monks moving around, trying to get those conversions started. There is so much exposed eco back here for Tom. Zark, quite exposed, but has TCs in his eco. For Tom, it's just his starting TC here, and the rest is in the middle. So nice map positioning, but will be very vulnerable at home. And here we can see some of these shift queues at work. As Zark is forced to run away. Zark, no monastery tax. So no faith or devotion. Defensive castle at home for Zark, who is now making more light cav. Food eco might not really be there for a light cav spamming. But it might be enough to deal with the monks as Tom, forced to chase off Cavaliers in the east, is now going for more TCs at home as he lost the two forward TCs, or one of the forward TCs here. Only one villager on stone for Tom. It is a very big ball of ARP, but with enough Cavalier and being on the water, having demos, I think it is a wise move to take out the docks first. And demo. No real damage. 3 deaths. Hussar comes in for Zark. And I would not mind seeing some barracks being dropped for Tom, just getting some pikemen on the field. Just dealing with that, as Tom did clean up the dock from Zark to the east as well. And more raids for Zark. As we see cannon galleons being sniped by the ARP mass. Tom so far currently just making ARPs. The monks! Not the monks! Tom, please! Please, no! Oh, that feels bad. That feels very bad, losing the monks just like that. There's currently one monk, and that is garrisoned in this TC. And bombard cannon out for Zark, immediately sniped by the ARPs, and Tom is pushing. Has a very nice army lead. Zark trying to go for more cannon galleons. I'm not sure if that is the play with the amount of ARPs that are on the field. And Zark is really struggling for wood. As the Cavalier with no bloodlines will fall faster to the ARP. And I think Tom is in a really nice position here. Will need to notice the raid coming in. Those were the leftover Cavalier from earlier. And traps start taking out buildings, and Zark taps out. Looked a bit dicey there for Tom earlier, but he managed to pull it back. Had some very nice demos. And this means we will go into game number 3. Very, very nice building destruction ratio here as well for Tom. Killing 10 buildings, not losing too many of his own, and grabbing some relics on the way as well. Really surprised we didn't see some Burgundian relics being collected. Did Zark start with relics in his base? Nope. So relics were off to the sides. And then of course the one here next to Tom's monastery as well. Great game. Great game. So final map. Pilgrims. So I will look up to see if there is anything set up already. Currently, we are in the lobby. But the game has not started yet, I believe. And I think for Zark, I like the Chinese. I also like the Bengalis for pilgrims. We do know Tom played Hans earlier on pilgrims, but after the last set might not want to do that again, although that set he was up against the Dravidians, and Dravidians versus Hans feels kind of a very hard matchup if the Dravidians win the water and get to their Elephant Archer comp, which happened, unfortunately for Tom. And it looks like Spec Dashboard is having some trouble, so I will have to find the game through the in-game browser, but that is always just such a struggle. Yeah, I think with the Ketons and the Magyars, going for a Hawks is not the worst. Also not the greatest Civ you want to use on water, and Zark having Bengalis and Chinese as potential options. I think I would like those two a lot more. And Tom already used Armenians in game number 1, and I think out of all the Civs for Tom, I would have liked Armenians the most on pilgrims. Spec Dashboard still having trouble. But so far I also just cannot find the lobby or game. Wait, we are in the lobby. Lobby opened 3 minutes ago. We might just have a small water and or bathroom break from the players. Oh, no reason to stress out. Now, who do we think will win the game here? I cannot do predictions yet. I don't have enough stream time. I'm not Twitch affiliate yet, so I cannot set up any gambling, unfortunately. But who do we think will win this game number 3? I think with the water aspect and the fact that Zark has better civs, I think Zark might win it. But maybe Tom can pull some crazy land aggression strat off with the Ketons and just completely ignore water. Just go full scouts on land and just kill Zark on land. I think that might be a shout for Tom. So we're still waiting, still. And here we go. Lobby was removed, so we can start to spectate. Downloading match content, and it is Bengalis versus Ketons. So, let's speed up a bit, catching up with lifetime. Tom opens dock on his starting island, Zark. Quite late with the dock, but did transport off with all of his villagers. And Tom still has some villagers working on wood. I like that because that way you can get your fishing ships out a bit faster. Zark building the houses. Dropping his TC right on the shoreline. Tom will see the house here, so might be a good indicator that the Zark is around there. Tom sees the gold, has some sheep available. Also relatively close to the shoreline, but not the worst. And Zark, with the amount of villagers he had working on that TC, will get his TC up first. Tom, though, not too far behind. As we see the second house coming up, and Tom already with the first fishing ship coming out. And Zark still waiting on that wood. Tom scouting a bit with the villagers, with the sheeps. Doing a loop-de-loop. Trying to get an idea of how big Zark's island is. Earlier we had a game where the island was legitimately 4,000 or 5,000 wide at a certain point. These islands seem fairly balanced, luckily. As Zark brings in their first boar. Tom just misses the boar over here. Does see the boar over here, but opts to take a sheep instead. And I think with the Ketons he can just expand away from the water. I think might want to not do too much water aggression. Could potentially also just drop a tower here and deny the gold from Zark. Other gold for Zark is here. For Tom also quite far away gold. But definitely has options in case one of them is denied. And of course players can also just go for the gold on their island, in which case Zark's gold definitely a bit more secure. As Zark has to go for a loom. Or has to go for loom, just goes for loom I should say. And I definitely am expecting full scouts as well from Tom. I think we might just see Tom pick 5-6 fishing ships. And afterwards just completely ignore water. It still is missing out on the boar. Like just 1 or 2 tiles. But he might have spotted it when the boar walked over. Although there is a sheep now on the way, so we'll spot the boar. And for Zark, there is a boar back here. I don't think... Oh, no, wait. Zark scouted that, actually. They did a really great job of scouting around. They do see the houses here for Tom, so we'll know where Tom is at. Zark, 5 fishing ships. Tom, 6 with the 7th on the way, and the 6th on the way for Zark. Yeah, I think if Zark can get the forward walls here towards the gold, and maybe wall here, wall to the edge here, he could just be safe. But Zark is the first one to click up, and Tom, I think, will click up after getting Loom even. So Zark, who is adding in his second dock, will definitely win water. I don't think Zark will ignore water, although... Where is Zark on gold? He has 3 on gold. Never mind. Went to make the mining camp instead. And for Tom, will also go to gold, so might not be ignoring water completely. And I think that might be a mistake from Tom. I think Tom would just need to ignore water and completely focus on land. You see more houses on the shoreline for Zark. Zark's space really tight here. As he brings in a boar. Zark is up. Tom 1 minute away with 7 fishing ships. Now what I would not mind is just Tom making a dock down here. Leave 1 or 2, maybe 3 fishing ships here to die and hope that Zark just does not patrol to the sides. But galley is out. Double bit X on the way. For now it's only 1 galley though, so Tom definitely has a chance. Tom goes for a second dock. And it will depend on what Tom opens here. Tom has no clue what Zark has made. And we see mill. Now Tom does see the berries here, so I wonder why the mill is placed here. And no warships from Tom. 2 galleys on the field, 2 more in queue for Zark. And Tom moves away some of his fishing ships. Market blacksmith. So Tom trying to FC Steppy. As Tom will lose some of his fishing ship, but did move a few of them away to safety. And I like that. I would also like it if Tom just clicks up. Clicks up. There we go. And Tom garrisoned some of his fishing ships. Needs to lead. Docking is hard. He will lead the ships to his dock. He will save the transport ship. And Tom also going for some galleys. Will also need to make his barracks and stable. And preferably also a pasture or 2. As we see more galleys. No, why are these coming here? Now Zark will know that there is a dock down here. And you will lose all your fish. Tom, why? Now there is not enough space for all these fishing ships. And there's also 1 exposed villager. And fire galley on the way as well. There is 1 more galley in there for Tom, who decides to repair his fishing ship. Needs to send these back to work. And Zark in a great position here. Like, has all his fishing ships working. And I think Tom kind of got lost in wanting to do water, but he is up to the castle age with nothing really to show for it. 0 on food as the Ketons is not really what you want. Has some galleys floating around. I think waiting for the medium warships upgrade is the correct play. as the fire takes out at least one galley. Zark cannot see those two war galleys from Tom. As we see war galley in. How well will the war galleys do against the regular galleys? The answer, not too great, because they're severely outnumbered. Tom is going to take some sheep under his TC, but is struggling heavily, and Zark will get his market up and then can just click up naturally to the castle age with 36 villagers behind. 27 from Tom, and idle time even. Tom really trying to defend his fishing ships, but I don't think it is enough. And giving up on water might be the best option here now for Tom. And Zark will just pull back. These ships will slowly heal, as we can see the HP slowly but surely going up. And still no pastures from Tom. More houses coming up. He's still on gold. On his island, still on wood. Zark. They're adding in a fourth dock even. So really wants to take the battle to water. Going for a barracks behind as well. So is thinking about maybe doing an elephant switch of their own. And I really expected Tom to just FC into Step Lancers here, and instead he went FC into losing water, unfortunately. I think Zark just did such a great time with the uptime. And I think as soon as Zark reaches Castle Age, they will instantly click medium warships, trying to get Botkin as well, as we see some market abuse to get those stacks in. Also second TC from Zark, who has plenty of food to go around. More and more galleys, medium warships clicked. Still no Botkin, does not have the food for it just yet. They're also forced to make more houses along the shoreline. And Tom balling up, making more houses. Tom, first one with Botkin arrow. But I don't think the numbers are there yet for Tom. It is 16-8. As Botkin is now on the way for Zark as well. And this is definitely Zark's game to lose at this point. As fishing ships are being taken out. Galleys are being taken out. Fires now being added in for Tom. But I do think it is too little too late, and Tom needs to... I think if he would just have invested all this wood into pastures and into Step Lancers, he could be raiding Zark to death. But instead he is losing the fight on water. Although he's doing a good job of trying to micro a bit. Will lose some vills on the starting island. And Zark is just really starting to pull ahead here. 3k more rest collected for Zark. And Tom just now starting his pastures. Does not have the first domestication upgrade. And I wonder when we will see Zark trying to make the land switch. There is a barracks, and there is now a monastery. And I think Zark knows that they want water, and that they can start adding in those fishing ships. Those are the last galleys from Tom. with that. So is water. Does still have some of the villagers on the starting island. And Tom stonewalling off the entire map. Buying more stone so he can finish the stone walls. But I really think he needs to start booming his ass off here. And with 6 on food, that's not really happening. 1 TC. Meanwhile, Zark, Monk is out, currently just healing some weak villagers, not going for the relic yet. Making more houses. And starting to thinking about adding in more fishing ships as well. It is looking really rough for Tom. Indeed. Like I said, I think the FC Steppy play, or even just fast feudal scouts ignoring water, would have been such a better option for Tom. Especially with the uptime from Zark. And Zark now on 10 fishing ships, 5 more in queue, adding in his 3rd TC. Tom just starting on his 2nd TC right now. And 5k rest collected more for Zark. And I would not be surprised if we see a stable for Zark. And surely, but we will not see Zark go for the Bengali light cav. As Tom tried to redock here. And Zark just misses it. Is patrolling along the shorelines, but not the entire shorelines. So there is definitely some potential for Tom to come back on water. As he now goes for domestication, upgrading his pastures. But I think we will need to see at least 2 or 3 more TCs like we did in the last game where Tom just made all of the TCs everywhere. I think that is what we will need to see from Tom now if he wants to have a chance. I do think that Ketons, the longer the game goes, the worse it gets for Tom. Especially if Zark can also get to a nice mass of elephant archers. If we see a scout cavalry, I think Zark might just want to use that to scout the map a bit. Might just be auto scout at this point. Just get that auto scout going. Score difference, 2000 ahead for Zark. And I think Zark is just content with booming a bit. Even getting the fishing lines upgrade. Adding in some farms. Don't want to over invest on those fishing ships. But some fish traps around the docks might be nice for Zark. Tom is going for a castle. I'm not sure if that is the greatest castle position being on the shoreline. And we will see cav archers from Tom. As of course already tagged into Buck and Arrow. Does not get bloodlines, so will not need the stable for that. And Zark now being 77 villagers against Tom's 60. But of course has the 27 fishing ships that are, although they might be becoming less and less efficient, still will be collecting res. As we see Zark pulling ahead more and more in the res collected. Going forward with Wills. Are they going forward? More TCs. More forward TCs on the gold. Very nice position. As Zark's scout dies to the castle. Bloodlines coming in for Zark, and I think we will start seeing some archery ranges for Zark here shortly after they click up to Imp. And Tom wisely not going for cav archers, going for skirms. remembering what happened the last time they faced up in this position against the Elephant Archers. And here we see them. Elephant Archers starting to be produced by Zark from his archery ranges. Currently just 2, also going for the pikeman upgrade, so might be worried about Tom going for step lancers or cavalry of his own. And Tom, 3rd TC coming up. Would love to see a 4th. With the wood that he's floating, with the stone that he's floating. Could potentially also get the elite skirm upgrade. Currently just feudal age skirms. And there we go. Also getting thumb ring. And more pastures. So far, 2 range production versus 2 range production, although more range is coming up from Zark, who is adding in more farms to support his Elephant Archer production. And I think Tom will need a lot more than the 7 skirms on the field to deal with the Elephant Archers from Zark, especially with the imp upgrades from Zark. Although Zark is missing the archer armor. Yeah, the castle spot for Zark is not the greatest, but it really defends the gold here, and I think the rest of the eco here is quite well protected with all the production being here. I don't like the production from Zark being in the back, would love to see it in the front. Especially with how fast the Elephant Archers are moving with the 0.99 movement speed. Did get skill barding armor before armor for the Elephant Archers. And Zark did get husbandry, so the Elephant Archers move a bit faster than regular Elephant Archers. Tom also clicks up. Second castle for Zark. Second castle for Tom. And rest collected, currently 10k ahead for Zark. As chemistry comes in, Zark already going out for the traps. Could of course also just go for cannon galleons eventually. Is it cannon galleons? Yes, no Romans can get cannon galleon. And in that case, this castle from Tom very, very likely to fall. As we see light cav, we see iron casting. But I don't think Tom's food eco is there, especially if he also needs to create the skirmishers, which he has stopped producing, and I think that is definitely a mistake. Zark with the sneak, transported over, is going for light cav raids. Dravidian light cav raids. Or not Dravidian, Bengali light cav raids. You would never expect it. Tom being fully walled, but having lost the water. And just 2 stable production here from Zark. Not the craziest. And Tom going for step lancers. Skirms versus the light cav. Light cav just getting the second armor now. As we see Pihakis coming in. The pikes coming in for Zark. Light cav dies. Zark 200 pop. Tom 100 pop. And here we go. Elephant Archers show up. Chemistry is in. Bracer is in. Not a lot of armor on these bad boys. As we see Tom starting to ramp up. The skirmisher production is going for more ranges. Zark going for more light cav. Castle Falls for Tom will soon be housed. Especially with the TCs being taken out. Especially if the houses here are being taken out. And Tom think we might see the GG being called here soon. 4 traps from Zark. Final armor coming in for the light gaff. Siege engineers coming in. Zark focuses his traps on the second castle from Tom. Skirmishers. Push away the elephant archers. Do quite well, given that there is no armor and that there is not a whole mass of elephant archers attacking. But Tom calls the GG. Knows how this will play out, as elite elephant archer was on the way for Zark. As they take this set from Tom. And I think for Tom, Pilgrims might not be his map, unfortunately. But GG, well played, nonetheless. And we can just see in economy as well, like from early feudal, Zark just started to pull ahead. And rest collected in the end was 15,000 difference in favor of Zark, leading Tom in all the categories. Also getting some relics, which was nice. And once again, very similar APM for both players. But with that being said, we have another set that we will cast. I will need to set up the map draft, Civ draft for that. And GG's to you as well, Tom. Well played. Yeah, I was so surprised. I think if you just completely ignored water and went for either scouts or for FC Step Lancers, I think you would be in such a good position compared to the position you are in, especially with the uptime from Zark. Zark being up that early compared to you. I also think going for Loom before clicking up might have hurt you a bit as well there. Like, there is no scout out on the field, so there is no real reason, I think, to go for Loom. But let me download the Rex from the other set that was played today. I did not do that just yet. That was Pisty versus Zark. And I will also get the correct map draft here on the screen. As we have Crater, Pilgrims, and Glacis. So for Zark, that is the exact same as what we just saw. But this time the home maps are switched around. So instead of Zark having Pilgrims as a home map, Zark goes for Glacis. So I will get these into the save game folder. I will search for Zark. I also need to refresh my replays. As we will have Curator on game number 1. And let's see. Here we are. All right. Curator. Game number 1. Zark once again playing as the Incas. And in the blue, we have Pisty playing as the Mayans. Zark currently roaming around, trying to get all their sheeps in. And Pisty saying chicken out and ban Northern Crossing. Very, very understandable. Very nice scouting from Pisty so far. Does see where the ibex are. Relatively close to the berries. For Zark. Ibex on the wood line. Could potentially just go for a settlement. Right where the ibex are. And not having to worry about pushing them in. Zark still scouting around. Pisty looking around Zark's base. Does see the house, so will know not to run into the TC. And is wisely doing a bigger loop-de-loop around, trying to find that wood line from Zark. Also sends one villager forward. Loom is in. Zark finds this. Zark finds this. Just passing. Loom for Zark. Just see the eagle. And 2 sheep being stolen from Zark. So we have quite a few villagers here forward for Zark. So Pisty will have to be careful, but can definitely do some laming here. In the meantime, Pisty just chilling at home. Nothing too crazy. And 2 sheeps dead for Zark. And Pisty runs away with the eagle as the champion. 1.1 speed. Eagle also 1.1 speed. And more ibex being lamed from Pisty could potentially also lame the boar. And I think we will see that. Will we see that? Currently just busy, I think. Run towards the TC garrison and we will see a laming of the boar. Zark has not reacted to this. Can see the boar struggling here. We'll now see that the boar is not reacting to the villager. Might also see that it's a very low HP. And Zark boar out here is taking it with 1 vil. Pisty with the gates. And Zark with the settlement on the berries. Very nice job for Pisty laming. Did have quite a bit of idle time there. And is behind in rest collected just slightly. And once again Pisty with the mill on the ibex instead of pushing the deer. As we have the Champy Scout taking out the gate. And I think Pisty could maybe make a run for it with the idle villager. Potentially. Meanwhile, more houses coming up for Pisty. Not a lot of villagers on the ibex. Yeah, I'm also wondering what that gate is, but it is definitely being annoying for Zark. And quick walls. So villager escaped. And the boar being taken out here. It is still next to the settlement, so not the worst, but definitely more annoying than Zark would have wanted. 3 more villagers in queue for Pisty. As Zark clicks up to feudal age. And Zark already on gold. And with the Eagle, getting the high ground, kills Zark's initial scout. Eagle lives 3 HP, Villager lives on 37 HP, and we'll see that Zark is going for the barracks. And once more, gate, but foundation is blocked by the Villager. Instead, we'll place a house, will not place a house. Foundation placed, Villager chilling. We click up to feudal. For Pisty could potentially heal up in the TC, which he does. Very nice. And Zark won the final game in the previous set. But very nice small walls here for Zark. Reaches feudal age. 6 seconds of idle TC compared to the 1 minute and 6 seconds from Pisty, who is also 1 minute behind in the cast or in the feudal timing. Archery range from Zark. No eagles from Pisty, who sends more villagers to wood. And Zark, Champy Runner, double bit X. And I do wonder, Zark, will we ever see you do the full Dark Age Champy rush? Or is that something that you just don't want to do? Zark places some farms. Still has quite a few berries left. Could also potentially take the final Ibex over here. That's one Champy, not enough to take out the villagers. So Zark will be forced to run away. And Zark instead going for archers and some skirms. And I wouldn't mind seeing some more Champies being mixed in here. Eagle is out, but will die, especially downhill. And so far, just archers for Pisty, but Zark already on skirms. No blacksmith just yet, and this gate is still so annoying. I keep looking over, seeing blue spots, but it's just the walls. And blacksmith now. So fletching comes in for Pisty, who currently just 2 archers. As the Champies from Zark are moving in. No weak villagers, 1 weak Champy. And Champy will not get a kill. Fletching now in for Pisty. And Zark, no blacksmith just yet. But does definitely have the army advantage here. Wait, where is the blacksmith? Am I just blind? This is the blacksmith. I thought this was the... Okay, I'm just blind. I am just completely blind, apparently. Zark moving forward. And Pisty just chilling at home. No towers on the wood lines just yet. Zark going for a second wood line. And here we will see an engagement. And I think Pisty is forced to run away from this, especially with the skirms being there. Eagle taking some nice distraction shots here. Archers taken down. 1 archer still in there, but I don't think 1 archer will be enough to take out 2 eagles and 2 archers. And Zark now starts to mix in some Champies again. Meanwhile, Pisty just houses on the wood line. Still being annoying. And Zark might need to delete the palisade here to get some more efficient gold mining. or is forced to loop around to the other side. Low HP Eagle runs away before Zark gets a shot off. And Zark has caught up in idle TC time to Pisty. Could potentially snipe the low HP farm. Does not see it yet though. As we now see barracks coming up. Skill mill armor coming in. And Pisty is looking really solid to click up to the next stage. I think Zark with the champions being produced, also costing food, going for the second range, looking to extend that feudal age. But will need to do more damage if he wants to do so. As the archers do find the wood line, also Zark is farming out here. And Champi's running back. Army here stays forward.
Yes.
And apparently there was a short pause with a hotkey issue. One villager down. More villagers will go down. Champions show up. Villagers finally decide to fight back. Archers go down. And Zark cleans it up and moves forward towards the wood line. But Pisty has clicked up. Zark? Not really there yet. There is a market now for Zark, so he could market abuse his way to Castle H. But this could be huge. There is no tower here, nothing to defend. But Zark needs to move forward and needs to do some damage here. And that is one villager. Two villager. Pisty reacts. Forced to run his entire wood line. Is floating 800 wood, so not the worst to not be on wood. And is also looping forward with the eagles. Trying to get in on that wood line again, and one palisade will deny that all. As the champions try to defend, Zark also clicks up to the Castle H. And remember, once Castle H hits, eagles will get stronger. So this is not a great time for Pisty to take this fight. As Zark still denying the wood line here. But with that, Zark forced off of his wood line as well. Pisty giving him some of his own medicine. Forward TC, monastery for Pisty. And Zark, more and more champions. Going for his second barracks. As Pisty is going for squires. And does or does not have. Yes. Eagle upgrade is in. As Zark loses some of their skirms to the TC. And is now forced to run away. Champy still doing somewhat of a good job keeping the eagles at bay, especially if they run in TC range. And that's one more lone eagle and one more eagle here. And I think Zark, they can just move back to the wood line. Will need to be wary of their gold now though. More champies. Will we see the champy upgrade coming in? As Eagle Warrior now clicked. 8 seconds away. And champy upgrade. Champy Warrior coming in for Zark. Who has 37 villagers. Pisty 46. As Pisty, second TC on the wood line. Zark also going for that wood line TC. And it might be full champy versus eagles. As Zark once again moves forward. Pisty still making some archers. Hasn't really upgraded them. No botkin, no Crossbow upgrade. And first armor now in for Zark. But numbers not really there. So we'll lose that fight on the front. But more and more champions, and I think with the skirmishers and archers behind, could take a nice fight here as we see elite skirm coming in for Zark. Eco KD 10-3 in favor of Pisty, as Pisty is starting to rack up some more idle TC time. Is choosing to make eagles in favor of villagers, and I think as long as you have at least one TC running, you should be fine. Almost all the relics are being taken. Like, this is the 4th relic, final relic right here. And great fight from Zark, especially, like I said, with the skirmishers and archer behind. Might lose the archers, not even to the TC. Loses it to the TC anyways, right as I say that. But Zark is catching up a bit in the Vil count. As we see Zark diving for the monk. Monk forced to run away. Skirmishers though also forced to run away. And Champy's doing a great job against the eagles. Zark forward siege workshop. 1 Vil. The villager will live, I hope. Villager dies. I think if Zark would have ran away instead of committing to the siege workshop, might have worked out. Instead, with that, siege workshop up first for Pisty. Zark now, clear military advantage. Eco count relatively even. Res collected though, still 2000 in favor of Pisty. Skirmishers, great against the archers, will also deal with the monk, as there is 1 conversion on the Champy warriors. First mangonel out for Zark, first mangonel out for Pisty. And where will the first mango shoot? I think for Zark, you definitely want to shoot it right where the villagers are and ignore the TC. We see some more houses. I like that Zark is keeping their villagers forward. Tower now coming up. And I think this might be a great time for the mango to pop out. And now the mango pops out for Pisty as well. Second mango. Oh, this could be dangerous for Zark. As 2 mangoes now for Pisty on the field. 0 for Zark. 0 in queue. And we do have a final relic being snagged by Zark. So, no relic victory for Pisty, who has 4 relics. This diving takes both mangonels, decides to stay under the TC a bit longer for Zark, with getting the 2nd armor, but is forced to run away. Monk sniped by skirmishers. And meanwhile, Zark's eco looking really good, really solid. Pisty on 3 TCs, slightly starting to pull ahead a bit in villagers, but does not really have the food eco to keep the Vil production and army production going at the same time. Is going for more mangonels. Zark has abandoned his idea of mangonels for now. Does not really have the wood for it, as he places more farms. Zark healing up some of the champions, sends off a group of champions to the side. 4th scholar coming in, 2nd armor coming in for Pisty now as well. As we see more walls being deleted, more farms being placed. And these champions on the side could do some really great ratings here on the gold. And the forward castle once again. Great castle positioning for Zark. And only one mangonel in the siege workshop, but a good timed mangonel shot here. Could deny. Oh, Zark deletes. Zark saw the mangonel, deleted the castle foundation. Or was that just the castle foundation being placed on the mining camp? Zark decides, I don't care about the mangonel. I don't care about any of these military units. I will force up this castle anyways. Although that really did not work out for Zark, unfortunately. He is forced to send more villagers forward. But in the meantime, Zark cleared up all military from Pisty, who is now struggling to find an answer against the champions from Zark. As Zark deletes the castle foundation here, decides I will place it even more in your face. I will deny a gold. I will deny the stone. I will be in range of a TC. I have a mangonel here. I am taking out houses. I am taking out towers. Has more champions that could potentially be sent in here. But Pisty is imp. Pisty is imping. I'm not sure if that is the correct decision here. I think he needs more army instead of imp. He's going for a defensive castle. Could then trap down Zark's castle. Meanwhile, raid in the back. Pisty did lose quite a few villagers here, I assume. 11 and 7 eco kills on these bad boys right here. As Zark might lose the mangonel here. Takes out the tower though. And behind this, I think Zark just needs to raid and raid and raid. Trying to keep Pisty as locked in his base as he possibly can, as Arson now comes in for Zark. Who is raiding a bit on the gold, who's raiding on the sides. I would love to see these skirmishers here just chill here for a bit. But Zark definitely in a very commanding position here for game number 1. Meanwhile, Zark never really dealt with these palisades and walls from Pisty with the early lane. As there is now a forward settlement for Zark. He tries to convert the eagles, not really happening. And Zark clicks imp right as Pisty reaches Imperial Age. And Pisty saying, I may have never seen that wood. Yeah, that is such a great job from Zark, trying to just attack at the front, send in some units through the side, and just trying to get your attention all over the place, making sure that you cannot keep up. But final armor coming in for Pisty, who is still making Eagle Warriors. Zark, lots of champions, more champions on the way. First trap on the way for Pisty. Or second trap, I should say. First trap already attacking the castle for Zark. Zark currently not really on stone that much. Chooses to make a TC instead on the gold. Could send these villagers over to stone. Is on stone here. Slowly but surely will eventually start having more stone for a castle, but I think this castle will just fall. Zark is not repairing, Zark is waiting for imp, waiting for his upgrades. Sends his units back. Decides to ignore whatever Pisty is doing. Forward villagers, forward farms, all abandoned. Conscription, iron casting coming in for Pisty, and Zark, just more barracks and more champy. So far, Another TC here placed for Pisty, the one that was originally destroyed by Zark's forward castle. And here we see Champies. And now Pisty trying to do the same what Zark did, sending a few units off to the side. Trying to get that raid going. Zark, elite Champy warrior, final armor. And I wonder what will happen when these two armies fight, because there is no elite eagle yet in for Pisty, who is doing a great job of looping around. Men-at-arms now coming in. Might be thinking about a longswords two-handed switch, as these units just chilling. And we're off. Will Zark notice the raids? Zark notices the raids, at least at the top. That's Zark. Still has their units forward. And the Eagles will get some damage, some idle time. We'll get some Vil kills here, but this is the main fight, and I think Zark fighting under a TC, not caring at all. Elite Champion Warrior is in, will take out all the military from Pisty. But decides to run away. Could have sniped some traps potentially. But Zark saying, I don't need. As Pisty maybe misclicked, misselected the traps. Shoots his DC with the traps. And Zark once again runs sideways with a few. Stays here with another batch of units. And just tries to raid Pisty to death. Two traps go down. Monastery will stand with the castle being there to defend it. And Zark now goes for a castle of his own. Very defensive, I might add. Would love to see it more forward. To deny the stone and gold here. Potentially just this stone and gold on the sides. But Pisty is in big trouble. 6 army from him. Being raided constantly by Zark. As we now also see some plumed archers coming in for Pisty. And Zark with the castle can start making some traps of his own. Woodline in the back, still safe. Zark also not raided at home. As I say that. This guy, MVP, is trying to get that eco KD back in favor of Pisty. One poke at a time. And is doing a great job. Just slowly but surely killing some villagers. But army numbers still not really there for Pisty. And Eco now starting to pull ahead for Zark, as his eagle for Pisty now decides to come home and unfortunately will die. So no more sneaky Vil kills. Some market abuse from Pisty. Trying to get those army numbers up. Plumed archers, champions now on the field. Or still two-handed swordsman, no champion. Who might I even get champion? Why I don't get champion? So this is the extent that the two-handed swordsman can be upgraded towards. Can get the final attack. Zark with the Maya, no champs, of course knowing everything there is to know about all these Meso-Sivs. As Zark now goes for a raid. 15 champies, denying the university. And Zark decides to roll forward, listening to T90, not trickle trapping, 4 traps at a time. And Pisty is forced to make a decision here. Does he deal with the raids in the back, or does he address the attack in the front? And once again, great job by Zark just splitting up Pisty's attention. Raids in the back will be cleared, as there is still some Champy warriors being annoying, just as we saw Pisty do with that eagle earlier. But Zark has a very nice forward position here. 4 traps. 4 traps is all you need, even queuing 1 archer. Just because he can. I think that was a misclick, wanting to click skirmishers. Zark even added in some slingers. And is doing a great job. And here we also once again raid on the woodline. This time it's just 1 Champy though. All the champions in the front die, but the castle falls. And Zark will gladly take that. Just roll up the traps, move them back. Even takes out a trap from Pisty. Now has no castle, still has some stone left here that he could mine. Is enough for another castle, but I think the stone here at the front might be a bit too ambitious to go for that, as Zark is comfortably taking stone in the front himself. Might be looking for a castle more forward, and right as I say that, it's moving forward with the Vils. Not the most forward castle, would have loved to see it more forward, but with all the army from Pisty, very understandable that it's not there just yet. And I think we need more skirms and more champions, as the army numbers are now in favor of Pisty. I think Zark definitely not in a bad position, looking at the eco counts. Once again, raids in the back have been noticed, but 42 eco for Pisty and 95 for Zark, so Zark can be a bit more careless with just throwing away some units here and there. And Zark is trying to take out the trap from Pisty. And Pisty does not defocus the repair, will definitely get it. He's repairing his castle as well, and Pisty is forced to retreat, as the GG is called, and Zark will take game number 1. Great game. No, not much more. I wanted to go to the statistics. We saw Zark make 173 Champy warriors. Yeah, I think the no tower on the woodline can work, but in a Meso matchup, you almost always guaranteed that the players are going for archers as well, right? So definitely worth it to get at least a tower up on that woodline and then just mine the stone back, buy the stone back later for that TC. I mean, the same can be said for Zark, although with the settlements might be a bit more easy for Zark to get the stone back on this map. But with that being said, we have game number 2, played on Pilgrims. Dravidians versus Bengalis. This time the orientation is flipped from what we saw before. And Pisty immediately goes for the dock, leaves 2 villagers on wood. Zark leaves 3 villagers on wood. Does not immediately go for the dock. But I would not be surprised if we see a dock from one of these villagers anyways. Yes, Pisty drops off. Also makes 2 houses. I think you could do with 1 being Dravidians, given that the dock is a house as well. Or at least give 5 pop space, as dock comes now up from Zark, who decides to just migrate everything away from the starting island besides the sole docking villager. And Pisty, just scouting, will see villagers walking from Zark. So might get a clue of where Zark is. We'll find the sheep and move it away. In the transport even. Really nice position here for Pisty on the gold, on the wood. Has some boars nearby. And for Zark, relatively close to gold, has a relic nearby. Goes for a house, goes for loom. And could go for the first fishing ship. And as I say that, Pisty already has his first fishing ship out. Zark uses their transport ship, scout the shorelines. But no real signs from Pisty along the shorelines. As Pisty chose to go a bit further inland. It is getting harder and harder to talk for me, apparently. More houses coming up from Zark. More fishing ships from Pisty, who is already starting to pull ahead in the eco. Has 100 res collected more. And I think that has to do with these villagers working on the island where they started, and with the fishing ships being out a bit earlier. There is still 1 sheep in the transport here for Pisty. Zark did get in a boar. And does he see the other boar? Not quite. Still hiding in the dark. Pisty, 7 on wood might be a bit much. I think 5 on wood might be better in terms of balance if you want to pump out fishing ships. But if you want to go for some walls, a bit more on wood is definitely not a terrible idea. Zark just places these houses here along the shoreline. And now is going out. Will he go for the boar? Zark goes for boar. And Pisty scouting with 1 fishing ship, doing a small loop-de-loop, trying to find the most efficient fish. That's Zark. Only 3 fishing ships, so Zark is definitely falling behind here. Transport ship still has the sheep inside. As Pisty is walling more and more. More houses from Pisty on his starting island. And Zark. 8 villagers. What are they going to do? Going for some deer. Making a mill, and I think might be some sort of fast castling then from Zark. No, chooses to make some more fishing ships. 5 fishing ships in total for Zark. But already 8 with a 9th on the way. Loom being clicked for Pisty. And feudal on the way. Will we see some transitioning onto gold? Second dock coming in, so that's definitely water play then. Zark also clicks up to feudal. Transport ship still has the sheep inside. Zark also going for a second dock, a bit more towards the back. And I have to say, Zark has done a great job with the uptimes today on Pilgrims. As we have 5 on gold for Pisty, 3 on gold for Zark. And 3 on gold is enough for galley production. I'm not sure if it is enough for Hawk Fire's production, as they do require a bit more gold. And what will we see from Zark? Clicks up, 1 galley and 1 galley only, because he is lacking the wood for more. As there is another mill being placed. I'm not sure if I like that. If you want to contest water. I would have much rather seen these 5 villagers on wood so you can keep your ducks producing all the time. We will see hawks for Pisty, who also is floating almost Castle HRS, as we see Market Blacksmith coming down for Pisty. Zark also floating near Castle H resources, but just not there in terms of wood needed. But I think that is also where a little bit of eco balance comes in, and the Dravidian 200 wood on uptime bonus definitely helps as well. As we see Pisty does not know about the second dock, but will start being annoying here. We'll see that it is galleys from Zark. Will that change what Pisty is making here? We will see a switch into fires as Pisty clicks up to the Castle H. And Zark garrisons some fishing ships inside, so the dock will shoot. Pisty forced to run away with his 1 hawk, but 2 hawks here chilling. Zark moves forward. Not moves forward. Does get double bit. No fletching just yet for Zark. No blacksmith just yet for Zark. And I think Pisty can be very, very happy with this, just keeping Zark at home. Having almost double the amount of fishing ships, or even more than double the amount of fishing ships. Chilling until Castle H, waiting for medium warships to come in. And Pisty quite walled up at home. Now we could of course always see a transport ship, sneaky transport ship from Zark. But so far, don't really think we will see that. Zark stopped with the warship production for a bit. Did get the blacksmith. Is going for the market, so will click up, but will click up after Pisty already reaches Castle H. And army numbers for Pisty, really solid, also making a bit of everything. And Zark just decides to stay on the galley line. There's no fletching, and we will see a barracks. Fletching coming in as well. Rest collected. Almost 1,000 more for Pisty, who was making a second TC, who was making a third TC. Don't like that these TCs are so close together. Love to see this one here, and then this one maybe a bit further towards the back. But medium warships in for Pisty. Decides to take the fight, and I think will win that quite convincingly, no matter how good Zark's micro is. No, I have to say, is doing better than I expected with the micro. I would have expected the fires and the hawks to be a lot faster in terms of just attacking here. And Zark Might be losing some fishing ships here, but is cleaning up a lot of the army. A little bit of a misclick there, I think. And with that, will lose a lot of his water as he reaches the castle age. Just 2 docks for Zark. Pisty also still only 2 docks. Zark moved his transport ship over here, but nothing inside. Zark going for his second TC. And that's a really nice TC spot. 3rd dock coming up for Zark, but might be quite difficult for Zark to get back on water from this point. And I like Pisty is splitting up his units, medium warships, in the somewhat safe dock, not in the dock that just got destroyed. And Pisty very heavy on stone, might be thinking about a castle. I think knows that Zark is somewhere around here, given he sees the houses, he sees the docks on the side. But I do think we will eventually just see a castle at home, as Zark now bought some stone back and goes for the 3rd TC as well. But is already, he's actually still quite even in villager numbers, given Pisty could not really keep his TCs working. Is now going for Horse Scholar. And I think we'll need to transition some of these stone miners and some of these gold miners onto wood to get some more farming and or other food eco rolling. Zark's docks, in the meantime, were taken out. It's making one more in the back, but don't think that will be enough. There's one lone spearman out for Zark, holding the line, making sure nothing really happens. Zark did lose a sheep here, I assume, so might be aware of where Pisty is as well. As Pisty just takes out these forward houses quite fast, I might add. Also taking out Zark's remaining dock. And castle at home for Pisty. Monastery for Zark, right next to the relic once again. Are there any other relics nearby for Zark? No. Not really nearby. There is one here. The other relics here. There's one here, and then there is one here in the back of Pisty's base. And Pisty gets the castle, sends the vills back to stone, so definitely wants to go for another castle. Is adding in more fishing ships as well, I like that. Might also be thinking about adding some more docks along the shoreline to keep his fish a bit more efficient. But overall, I like that he's adding in more fishing ships. And Zark now walling up with some houses as well. Needs to wall here as well, but that of course could be quite easily taken down by Pisty, since Pisty has the water control. So far, very nice boom from Zark, trying to keep up with Pisty in the eco count, but is falling behind, especially since Pisty can just add in fishing ships as well. And with that, I think we might see Pisty market abusing relatively soon, trying to get to Imperial Age as Zark drops his 4th TC. Also going for more houses. Will lose the mill, might potentially lose another house here, but that will be a while since it's just galleys. And the fires are starting to patrol the shorelines. We see archery ranges for Zark. And we have one Urumi swordsman trying to harass. Will kill at least one villager. Might kill a second one. I think will kill a second one before the TC is up. Will he kill a third? Yes, fourth one as well from another one. And TC is garrisoned. And the archery range will be completed by other villagers instead. And Urumi dies to the TC once again. And we will see more archery ranges is stable as well. I think we will see Zark trying to go for elephant archers. As Pisty is close to clicking up, no market abusing needed. Foodico looking very solid, 24 farms, 18 fishing ships with more on the way. Although, like I said, fish starting to become a bit more inefficient. Adding a dock here, and especially here in this corner, there's so much fish. Almost 4,000 fish in this corner. So that could be very efficient. Also would not mind seeing some fish traps, but that might be later. As we see another TC and a monastery as well for Pisty, who clicked up and has the very, very dominant position here. Army count definitely in favor of Pisty, but a lot of that is just the war galleys who are patrolling the water and are taking out houses, are taking out market for Zark. And behind this, Zark, not in a terrible position at all, like there is no real aggression yet for Pisty. But I think Zark might need to start thinking about transitioning into Imp as well. So we have one lonely turkey here for Zark. Zark also goes for another relic. I think this relic could potentially still be taken by Zark if the Urumi swordsmen are not around. As we will see full Urumi swordsmen from Pisty, I think. And Zark clicked up as well, adding in more and more TCs. I really like that with the Bengalis. Every TC will give you 2 more villagers. And Zark currently 5 TCs. Could potentially greed it out with a 6th and 7th TC, but I think is more in need of a castle than more TCs at this point. In terms of villager count, will definitely surpass Pisty once he reaches Imp, but in terms of res collected is already almost 7k, 8k behind. Pisty with the forward outpost wants to see what Zark is up to. And Monastery Monk goes for the back relic first. And for Zark, their Monk is definitely not grabbing this one, because I assume that Pisty shift queued his Monk to grab this relic. Yeah, more and more houses being taken out. No castle yet from Zark, but elephant archers are here. As we see elephant rams from Pisty being massed up in the siege workshop. Well, the Urumi, of course, cannot garrison in the armored elephants, as we would see with regular rams. But elite Urumi swordsmen and some rams. And castle here for Zark. I think that is just a bit too late. Will we see some quick walls? Or will the castle be denied? I think the castle will be denied as the villagers just melt. The castle foundation melts as well. As the elephant archers, definitely missing upgrades, but Bracer is in, chemistry is on the way. No ballistics, but not the most important tech right now. Zark will definitely need to micro this back a bit. And Pisty going with the armored elephants towards the castle foundation. And these elephants, they are so tanky, but I don't think they will be enough. Pisty is switching into archers of his own. And castle is not deleted, so Zark will not get the stone back, unfortunately. Zark says, quick walls, check my APM. You can still place walls, Zark. You don't need fast clicky clickies for quick walls. You just need to house, just get this will, house hotkey, build. Another one. Select the villager, house hotkey, build. That's all you need. That's quick walls. And even if you do it in the same speed as I just said it, I think you would have still been on time. But elite elephant archers for both players. Love to see it. Although Pisty is getting the final armor and Zark still missing the final armor. But elephant archer v elephant archer. This is what you are here for. This is what you came to see. And Pisty thought you were going to open skirms. That's why he went Urumi. Well, I think this is the best matchup. This is the matchup we came to see. And Zark definitely has the numbers advantage here, so could win this fight. Will definitely need the armor upgrades though. And I think Pisty long term has the better eco to support his elephant archer production. His fishing ships still working. Still not docked the backside here. But all upgrades are in. Dravidians. No medical corps in. Would be huge for the elephant archers. For Pisty. For Zark. Could also be really nice to get pikes. But no castle for Zark. TC here, taken out. Taken out by what exactly? Did we completely miss that? Or did Zark just delete? And Zark now forced to run away as there is 34 elephant archers on the field for Pisty. And for Zark it's just 16. And the range is being forward with more and more elephant rams coming in, as we now see siege elephant coming in as well. I don't think Zark can pull it back anymore from this position, as the GG is called. And the Navy took out the TC. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. No, I thought there was maybe a cannon galleon or two. But Pisty, game number 2. And we definitely can see Pisty just from the moment that he won water, just started to pull ahead. Did not really pressure that much early game on land, but decided to land boom instead. And Zark, you wanted to check your APM. Around 1 action every 2 seconds, or effective in-game action. Of course, selecting a villager is not counted as APM here. So I will need to quickly load in game number 3 here as well. I have avoided adding in game number 3 in the Rex folder, as sometimes that might include spoilers since there are reused civs. And I, of course, cannot find the games now. Thanks, DE. I did not extract it, that makes sense. Game number 3 goes in there. And then when capture H, we can just simply watch more, search for Zark after we hit refresh. And we will get Glace's game number 3 showing up there. And Huggy, welcome in. Anything over 40 is cheating. Tell that to the pros. And say, Hera, you need to click slower. I want to see you win an S tier event with 40 APM or below. As we have Pisty in the blue playing as the Portuguese. And Zark in the purple once again playing as the Burgundians. And Zark still trying to admin rig it. Although he of course knows the outcome of this game already and we do not. Zark going for the lumber camp in the back. And Pisty. No lumber camp just yet. There we go. Lumber camp for both. Zark a bit earlier with going onto wood. Currently only has 5 on food instead of 6. But might choose to do that in favor of moving out here shortly. Trying to get the wood for the dock, I assume. And would love to see some early fishing ships. For Pisty, more standard approach, currently has 6 on food under his TC. And I agree, Ghost Rider, seeing this map in not Empire War settings. I think it also really changes the meta, as we have a scout fight here. Zark slightly ahead, but needs to be careful to not run into the sea and decides to run away instead. As Pisty trying to wall up a bit with a house and might send this villager forward. Zark keeping up the aggression with the scout. Really like it. And Doc coming up for Zark. Currently 4 on wood. Still 5 under the TC on food. And Boar comes in. The villager needs to garrison. Garrison's on time. Will not die just yet. Well, Huggy, I think you are in luck because in all the games on Glacis so far, forward docks have been a thing, demos have been a thing. We had very nice demos earlier in the matchup before this one. Forward dock right now I think might be a bit too early. But we could see just sending 4 vills forward, denying the forward dock. That might be something. Well, potentially you could definitely douche with the dock, just garrison your fishing ships inside and eventually the dock will be taken down, although I think the damage that it does, definitely not worth it. As Zark sends more to food, less on wood, so thinks 2 fishing ships is more than enough for me. I want to have a reasonable uptime. So we also see some walls towards the side. Remember, you cannot wall towards the wall. This is unwallable terrain. So you will always have a hole in your walling here. But of course, could try to funnel a bit towards the TC. With that being said, Zark, no eco upgrades just yet. I think wants to click up at a reasonable time. Does see the boar, so could take the second boar as well. And for Pisty, has transitioned a bit more on wood. Will get loom and will click up afterwards. Will send more villagers forward. And Zark clicking up the feudal, getting double bits. So not super greedy from Zark with a very early double bit axe. But definitely nice timing to get double bit axe in already before hitting feudal age. With that being said, Pisty did make one more fishing ship, also got one more villager out. And did get loom. Zark also got loom, is bringing in his second boar. And it is going to be Zark. Zark loses a villager to the boar. Will shoot the boar with the TC. And barracks now coming up for Pisty. So Zark down 2 eco units. Or 3 eco units even. It's 22 to 25. Feudal time. Bit earlier for Zark, who has the barracks up already. Makes the Flemish militia. And no stable, no forward. There is a forward dock, and since the scout is weak, cannot really deny it. But could potentially delay it. Or if Zark just does not attack, could definitely deny it. But with that, galley already out and Pisty already in a great position here. Zark forced to deny the forward dock. Might lose the Vil. Will kill Pisty Scout. Flemish militia being harassed by the wolf and the spear. I think should just go for the spear so that when the Flemish militia dies, the wolf will kill the spearman as well. Zark, you should stop being too busy typing in chat and use that APM for in-game APM actions. As we see archers coming for Pisty, and Zark did not see any of that. Did of course see the one galley that Pisty mate is going for a second dock, also going for a mill. So might be thinking about getting horse collar and dropping some farms. And Pisty, nice job just patrolling the galley along the shorelines. Would love to see it a bit, going a bit further out on both sides. And as I say that, it goes out a bit further. And for Zark, is getting horse collar, is not getting a second military building yet. Just chilling with the Flemish militia. And I think as soon as Zark will see the archers, although might just run away from the spears before he sees the archers. Pisty clicks up to Castle Age. Really nice Castle Age timing here. Great job. Just one dock so far. And also quite far ahead in terms of res collected. And Zark, not having a range, not having a stable, might find it hard to deal here with the forward aggression. Meanwhile, at home, nothing really happening for Pisty. Zark loses a vill there, loses a vill here. Might lose another villager here. Forced to drop a panic range. Villager lives. Pisty dodges the TC. And Pisty in a great position here. Zark forced into some house walling here. But, and a tower. Tower for Zark. Could be deleted, but at this point think will be completed anyways. Skirmishers are coming out for Zark. And his res is starting to look more and more like he wants to click up as well, but is forced off gold, can of course take the gold here. In the meantime, the pikeman from Pisty looped around, trying to meet up with the archers again. Careful to not run into the TC fire. Crossbow upgrade on the way. No botkin just yet. And 2 skirms out for Zark. No fletching. He's missing his blacksmith. Goes for a market instead, like that with the amount of food that he's floating. But we'll definitely need more and more skirmishers. Also like to see this part walled off. As we see double bit X now coming in for Pisty. Weak villager. Potentially could be sniped. Crossbows. Ignore the tower. Goes for the villagers instead. Villagers will fight. But I don't think that is the greatest decision here. More and more villagers die, and it is 6 eco kills for Pisty, who is now dropping a forward TC. As Pisty micros down the skirmishers. Zark with the starting scout, forced to run away from the spears. Zark, behind all this, did click up to the castle age. But cannot really take, could potentially take the forward goal again. Goes for another lumber camp that he is forced to buy. And 30C also up for Pisty, goes for the market. His resources really at the limit currently. But has expanded the eco at the front nicely. And I would love to see Siege Workshop forward for Pisty as well. With all the aggression that he is doing. Did lose the archers here. But has more archers. Oh, wait, are these the same archers? These are definitely not the same archers with only 1 kill. Botkin now on the way. Zark gets the stable up. Right as he hits Castle Age. Could potentially sell a bit. And make 1 or 2 knights. And if Pisty chooses to just throw away his crossbowmen like that, I think 1 knight might just be enough. As we see more fishing ships being taken out by the crossbows here on land. No knights in queue for Zark just yet, does not have the gold. Wants to finish this mining camp here, given that the mining camp at front is still being harassed by archers. Also goes for elite skirmisher upgrade. Still no fletching. Behind this, Pisty is really starting to expand that eco lead. Adding in more farms at home. Also transitioned onto stone, quite heavily I might add, 10 villagers on stone. Getting stone mining upgrade even. And I think these villagers here will soon start to just walk forward and place the castle foundation on Zark's face. Pisty is microwing against the skirms. Will lose the archers here. Trying to get in that minimum range of the skirmishers. But with another skirmisher being here, will die. But so far, more and more archers. 13 here on the field for Pisty, who is transitioning into stables. So White might want to be a bit more mobile as we see knights coming onto the field. Has enough stone for a castle now. And with that, that's the armor for the knights. Zark backwards TC, or TC in the back, and will defend from the one unit there. But I do think as soon as Pisty just decides to move these crossbows a bit more forward, lots of eco here for Zark is exposed. Especially with the knights here as well. And if Pisty ever decides to place that castle foundation, I think we could see the GG coming in for Zark. As we see bloodlines coming in now for Pisty. Zark just holding 2 TC play. Some more lumber camps. Loses his fishing ships. And I love that Zark is queuing them. I would love to see another one in this dock as well. And so far, no real forward dock aggressions from either player. Would have expected Pisty to make like a side dock here as well. We now start to see the cavalry moving in for Pisty. We'll lose some crossbow. Zark just a bit too late with the demo there. Just a bit too late with the demo there, but might be on time with the demo for the villagers. Just kills 2. That will not be enough, and we will see the forward castle skirmishers taken out by the knights, and I think this might be it for Zark. Who got his forward dock unfortunately denied, and that I think threw Zark a bit off their game plan. Yeah, we definitely can blame that demo on the water rework. Otherwise, blast radius would be big enough to just kill all the villagers that were coming forward. For sure. Crossbows camping under the tower. Castle up in Zark's face. And I think these villagers could just place a mining camp. Start mining more stone and more stone. And Huggy says this is fine. Huggy really has the ACCM spirit here, I see. Yes, GG is called for Zark. And Pisty takes game number 3. Yeah, very early GG. Score difference was not that big. But Pisty definitely just took the early game aggression, just sending the archers forward, and Zark not having an archery range or stable. I think that was Zark's biggest mistake in this game. And Pisty definitely the faster player, and apparently being faster means you win the game. Almost twice as fast as Zark. And Pisty indeed was about to click imp. Yeah, I kind of expected Zark to just force mine this stone, market his way, selling his wood, selling his food, to at least try to get up a castle here. But this time, quite early GG. 50 more villagers than you had yesterday when you called the GG. So you could have definitely played on a bit longer. But overall, well played, very fun games. That was all the sets that were played so far, once again. I think tomorrow there will be some sets. I'm not sure if I'm able to cast them. I have an event in the evening. And then on Saturday and Sunday I have other plans as well. So over the weekend there will definitely be a lot of sets played. And on Monday I will have to catch up with everyone who played their sets. But so far, very fun games, very entertaining games. I hope you guys were entertained as well. But with that being said, I will send you guys off. I think to freaking Andy, who was doing some DLC testing. Apparently, might be fun to watch. And otherwise, I will see you guys probably after the weekend. So for now, I would say goodbye and have a very, very nice weekend.